got quarterback of the Utah Utes, Donovan, Houston Astros prospect, Adrian Howard. We used to be so strong, and now
Dana White was like, I have Tyrone's bum in the back trying to make me sign him right now.
Is there a reason for us to make this game?
What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Godsey for Justin Godsey TV. Thank you so much for checking out tonight's video. Now, I do have the fan on a loud blast tonight. I have my window open, which actually should be closed. It's kind of hot out here in Arizona tonight. I have a light on, so my room is going to get pretty hot, so I'm going to try and speak over the fan. I just don't want to be, cutting this video up in parts because it's so hot. And so I have the fan on high, and I really do apologize. This is going to be, just an every so often kind of a thing. It's not going to happen on a daily basis. So tonight we are doing the WWE Raw review for July 21st, 2014. We're gearing up for SummerSlam, which is going to be taking place at the end of next month in August. And this show tonight was actually okay. It was totally not, mind-blowing, Michael Cole, typical Michael Cole fashion. This is just a historic Raw tonight. I mean, how many historic Raws can we have? Everybody on commentary, Lawler, JBL, Michael Cole, and especially will go out every night saying, this is a historic night on Raw. This, Kofi Kingston did this, and this is historic. No, it wasn't a historic night. It was a pretty entertaining night, I would have to say. We saw, the WWE came out, on spot today with what the fans really wanted. And, luckily John Cena was not there. I'm not a John Cena fan. I don't care if he's, on the show or not. So, he's the champion. I was really surprised that he is not on the show because he's coming off a victory last night. Yeah, he was. He's in his home state. His current, residence is in Tampa, Florida. So, it's very interesting as he was not, at the show tonight. But the WWE really needed to, bring in the Brock Lesnar character. And that's what we saw tonight. We also saw a couple of great, more interesting things happen tonight on Raw. I'm going to get into that more of the whole Brock Lesnar thing and my personal thoughts on it. But the show kicked off pretty interesting. Triple H came out, it's pretty much telling the fans, giving a quick recap what happened last night. John Cena is still the champion, and he starts making fun of the crowd because, the WWE got some serious heat last night during the Battleground pay-per-view. No one really enjoyed the show. There were too many botches throughout the entire show. No one really enjoyed it. So Triple H started, pretty much destroying the fans, saying, oh, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna end up firing everybody in the back for not doing a good job, start going on this, rant because WWE's, Twitter feed and Facebook feed has just been blown up by negative and hatred comments, and Triple H just couldn't stand it anymore, and, they were trying to look for John Cena's next opponent. It built up to this big discussion about who will be John Cena's next opponent, and instantly Randy Orton comes out, starts, complaining that, he's waiting for his another opportunity at John Cena. He just had an opportunity last night. He was close to winning it. Roman Reigns, I honestly thought should have won the championship, but we all knew, a month in advance that, we all knew that Brock Lesnar was going to come back. He's coming back for the big pay-per-views, and it's time for him to get back on TV. So John Cena and Brock Lesnar were, on the poster for SummerSlam. The WWE is going to be rolling with that. And Randy Orton was just, bitching and complaining, saying that, I want my one-on-one opportunity. I was like, Randy, you just had yours. We saw you and John Cena fight over 3 million times in the WWE. It's time for you to, shut up and just go on a whole new route. Have it start a rivalry with somebody else. The WWE can go in, one of two different directions. Randy Orton really needs someone at the SummerSlam pay-per-view. So they started, rolling things over with, him and Kane in the beginning of the show, where Randy Orton blames Kane from last night, saying that, if Kane did his job, Randy would have been the champion, tonight out here on Raw. And then all of a sudden, Kane comes out and saying, I want that opportunity, and trying just to build up the fans for everything. I wasn't really feeling it tonight. I think this, promo was just, it was going to be coming, sooner or later. It's something you can totally pan out. So Roman Reigns comes down to ringside, and says, you know, if you want to put, you know, if you want to start talking about championship matches, you know, no one wants to see John Cena versus Kane. And, you know, the crowd was just booing Kane for the entire, you know, during that part right there. And then Roman Reigns was like, sure as hell don't want to see Randy Orton versus John Cena again. And he goes, I want to see Roman Reigns versus, you know, John Cena. And then all of a sudden he goes, believe in that. So he Superman punches Kane, and then he tries to go after Randy Orton. So the show kicked off with, you know, with Triple H, you know, going out of the ring while, you know, Roman Reigns was attacking both superstars, or, you know, mainly Kane. And then, you know, off the top, you know, Triple H named a handicap match to kick off Raw. You know, Roman Reigns being a big part of it. And, you know, Roman Reigns, it was overall a pretty solid matchup. I wish there was a lot more to it. It was, you know, this was also, you can also, you know, think about this. You know, you have Kane and Randy Orton on one side. Both guys don't like each other at this point. So we're all waiting for that time for, you know, someone to reject a tag. And Randy Orton was that guy. You know, you don't really see Kane rejecting a tag, as he's still kind of like that soft, you know, that devil demon bullcrap is so old. You know, just move on from it. You know, unmask him. You know, have him go back to being, you know, the regular unmasked Kane. I think that character was a lot more demented and a little bit more crazier than, you know, the Kane with the mask now. Because after he done that Daniel Bryan, you know, school thing, I thought that's where the WWE killed the character of Kane. So, you know, Kane has not done a whole lot to really, you know, prove himself to be a championship. I know that this was a show where it's just, you know, this was going to be a match filler, and they needed to get all their main stars on the show. Cena was not in attendance, so, you know, they put in it was a pretty decent handicap match. So Randy Orton walked out on Kane. Roman Reigns picks up the victory, and it was overall a pretty interesting, you know, night to kick off the show. The next matchup, we're going to start talking about the Divas here, as, you know, a lot of people are, you know, Justin, you're a big Divas fanatic. You know, I love the ladies. You know, the ladies, yeah, the current, you know, standing point in the WWE is their Total Divas show. It's an alright show. It's alright. You know, it's all planned out. We all know it. It's alright. It's not the greatest. You know, it's alright. You know, it's watchable. But, you know, I don't sit at home and watch it on a daily basis at all. You know, if there's nothing really on the network when I fall asleep, you know, I'll hit up the Total Divas and see what stupid drama, what's happening, you know, next on, you know, on the Total Divas show. So it was, you know, Stephanie McMahon, who I did not see on TV last week. I don't think I watched Raw last week. I want to refresh my memory real quick. I think Stephanie McMahon was on Raw last week, but on a short, you know, little small appearance there. So she came back on TV, you know, in a big role tonight. It was a very big, you know, role tonight for Stephanie McMahon, as pretty much, you know, 80% of the show was, you know, entirely around her. She was actually, you know, she scheduled a 4-on-1 handicap match with Nikki Bella taking on, what was it? Yeah, Eva Marie, Alicia Fox, Rosa Mendez, and Cameron. And this was probably the worst worked match of all time. You know, Nikki just ran up and she just got mugged by these 4 divas. And I'm standing there, I'm like, you know, this is going to be up there for, like, this is going to be like the worst worked match of the year, because this is terrible. I thought, you know, handicap matches, you know, if it's 1-on-4, it's going to be, you know, like a tag team match where, yeah, you know, the couple of divas are on the apron, and then Nikki Bella will go out 1-on-1. But no, it was all 4 of them just, like, mauling her at one opportunity. So before the match really kicked off, you know, I pretty much, you know, like to jump ahead of the matches, but the story is the biggest thing here on my Raw reviews. So, you know, the story leading up to it, up to the match, was actually Brie Bella was actually in attendance tonight, and this is just, she's just teasing her return. I can see a legitimate return for her, you know, during the summer, you know, at SummerSlam. You know, it's going to be at what, we're like 6 weeks away or 5 weeks away, and we're building it up. And you know what, by that time, I think Daniel Bryan will be okay for Brie to continue her career. I think we're going to end up seeing, you know, Stephanie McMahon. I don't think she's going to come out of her wrestling shell or her non-wrestling shell. I think she's pretty much done with wrestling. She's going to, you know, hire, what was it, Alicia Fox, you know, pretty much all the Total Diva stuff. And I was really surprised that Ava Marie was actually turned heel tonight. I actually never knew that Ava Marie was a heel, because isn't Ava Marie and Nikki Bella tag team partners like 2 months ago? And that really make a whole lot of sense, but I was like, okay, whatever, we ran with it. So, you know, going back to the whole Brie Bella situation, she was at ringside tonight, you know, there to cheer on her sister Brie, and, you know, Stephanie McMahon came down to ringside saying that, oh, Nikki's going to end up being a quitter just like her sister, pretty much bad-mouthing her. and then Brie was getting on the mic, called her a bitch, and all of a sudden Stephanie McMahon just goes up and just slaps the shit out of Brie Bella. I was like, this is gonna get pretty heated. You know, all of a sudden she starts calling for security to get her out of the arena, and then the match went on, and then that was pretty much the whole, you know, forte of the whole Diva section, Diva segment until later on in the show. Also on hand tonight, we had a pretty good concert from Flo Rida. You know, I am not in whatsoever a huge rap fan. I am more of a rocker. You know, I like, you know, to rock out. I don't like to listen to rap music at all. It just doesn't interest me. So I was like, you know what? I know this, you know, Flo Rida has had a great relationship with WWE in recent months, years. So, you know, tonight in Miami, it seemed pretty, you know, like, okay to host a concert, but the WWE's card tonight, they really needed to fill time in, and this is what kills, you know, this 3-hour show. You know, the WWE over the past couple of years, or the past, you know, year or so, has been doing this 3-hour show, and it just has not been connecting to the fans. You know, the viewership for Raw has been going down. You know, the first hour it's high, the second hour is just who gives a crap, and then the third hour to close the show gets mediocre reviews, because I read, you know, these Raw reviews and, you know, these overall rating shows for Raw, you know, week in and week out. And it always seems like that second hour, no one really cares, because it's just filler matches. Like, you'll get, you know, Big E Langston and, you know, I don't know, or some mid-card kind of competitor, Sin Cara or whatever, and you'll just have these guys, you know, spend 15 minutes in a match, and then you'll have Dolph Ziggler. You know, tonight Dolph Ziggler was in a matchup against The Miz, and what was a very great match. That was probably, you know, the match of the night. I was really, you know, interested in that matchup. The way that it was worked, it was fantastic. You know, Dolph Ziggler picking up a much-needed victory. This is going to be a continuous rivalry. I called it during my Battleground my Battleground, you know, Battle Royal predictions. I say, you know, it's going to be The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler, but I had Dolph Ziggler winning the Battle Royal. But, you know, it was, you know, switched around. Miz won, but we're still having that rivalry that I called. I was so excited for it. So, you know, they pretty much had a quick filler match in here as well. The quick filler matches was, you know, like I said, you know, The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. And then you also got to look into the third hour, which we saw, you know, the Great Khali and Rusev and, you know, Lana at ringside. You know, they're getting us some heat because of the recent, you know, the recent tragedies. And, you know, I'm not going to, you know, say anything. I don't want to offend anybody at all. But we all know, if you want to read it, you can read about it. The WWE issued a statement earlier today. Make sure you guys go and check that out. So, you know, they cut their segment pretty short tonight. I thought we were going to see more vocalization on the mic tonight, but the WWE wanted to cut that short because I think that's, you know, part of a small punishment tonight from Rusev and Lana for, you know, their comments from last night. Great Khali came out. It was a pretty not great match at all. It was a match where, like I said, it's a time constraint match. The WWE is better off at this point just automatically just calling it like this. We're going to have ourselves back to the 2-hour show. We're going to get our top talent, you know, have John Cena, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns kick off the show and, you know, end it up with something pretty good. You know, start using your, you know, your top guys more. Don't have this, like, complete gap or, yeah, you have some good talent on your show, but, you know, the majority of the talent wasn't in attendance tonight. The Usos weren't there. You also had, the, you know, Roman and Harper were not there. Cena wasn't there, so, you know, those are three, you know, those 5 guys right there, those are some big, you know, parts to the show. So, they were not in attendance. This was overall, you know, I'm clustering in a lot of different things right now here in the middle of this review before I go back into full detail. But, you know, the mid-card show, or the mid-card matches tonight was primarily highlighted by, you know, The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. That match was just overall fantastic. It was a great matchup. I really do enjoy it. So let's continue on with the big matches. Like I said, I covered the big things, and I'll just spend, you know, 30 or 40 seconds, maybe a minute at the most, talking about the entire mid-card. Because the WWE fans, you know, they want to see the big thing. They want to hear the big news, and that's what I'm here for, you guys. Now, tonight, we had ourselves a Divas Tag Team matchup, which featured Emma, you know, the returning Emma, after her whole, you know, cell phone case. Look, I have myself a cell phone case, you know, shows you how much of a diehard fan of a Chargers fan I have. I mean, I could even pay for that. That was a $35 case, and it's from skinit.com, by the way. So if you want to go buy yourself a nice cell phone case, make sure you go over to skinit.com. Pretty reliable phone cases. So it was Emma and Natalia taking on Paige and AJ Lee tonight. And everybody was just like, this was a pretty horrible match last night at Battleground. So the WWE wanted to pair them back up together and have them, compete as a tag team again. I was like, I don't really like this whole story, this whole tag team, forte with, AJ and Paige, the two best divas currently in the WWE. I'm still a huge fan of Naomi. She was also not on the show tonight. So, a lot of the big pieces tonight on the show. The show was primarily clustered with, a lot of backstage, promos and the commercials and stuff. So, WWE had, a lot less talent tonight on tonight's show. So, it was a tag team match. It was pretty. It was an okay Divas tag team matchup. Like I said, it wasn't the greatest of matches. They fell to that that time period. But at the end of the match, the WWE finally listened to the crowd on what we want as a fan. We want to see Paige go as a heel, and that's what she did. So the match was ended, pretty easily. AJ Lee getting the victory, so she ends up, grabbing the title and skipping around the ring. I think 1 or 2 laps, comes back into the ring, gives Paige that big hug. So Paige is raising her hand up, and then all of a sudden, AJ is, turning left, and Paige grabs her and just yanks her down. I'm like, good gracious today. We finally got something good here going in the Divas division. Paige turns heel. She attacks AJ Lee, which I honestly thought was like the most crappiest headbutts I have ever seen in my entire life. This was just god-awful. She was taking her head, and she was like going halfway down. If you're going to try and sell it, at least go, at least have like this whole like inch right here where you don't actually hit her head. I mean, go down and actually hit, get pretty damn close to it. Don't leave this whole, 2 feet of gap, because she's just doing this, and then AJ Lee's head's like right here, and there's like nothing going. I mean, this is like the worst headbutts of all time. And then you hear Michael Cole on commentary, oh, look at those tremendous headbutts, or these dangerous headbutts by Paige. I'm like, dude, just shut up, please. And it was a pretty, minus the headbutts, we finally got, what we all wanted. We want to see Paige run as a heel. The WWE is finally listening to us, the fans. We are the ones that put money into that company. And we get results of PG era bullcrap. The WWE has got to listen to us at once. And you know what? They did it tonight, and they gave us what we wanted. We saw Paige tonight. Yeah, it's such a small thing, but you know what? We got what we deserve, and we get to see the Divas division go up a notch here and have this whole rivalry between Paige and AJ Lee. So I cannot wait to see what happens. Probably on SmackDown on Friday night. I'm not really into watching SmackDown a whole lot because it seems like a really back show. It's a 2-hour show, a pretty easy show for SmackDown. But I'm not really going to end up, watching SmackDown on a daily basis because Raw is the biggest thing here. Everybody watches Raw. SmackDown is just going to be like one of those low-ranked shows that's going to be on Sci-Fi. So don't really watch, SmackDown on a constant basis. I'll watch those weekend reviews, to refresh my memory over the weekend and everything like that. So those always come in handy on the network as well. So that was pretty much the big highlight of the show. So going down the line, we're about to end the show. We're in the final hour of the show, and then all of a sudden, we see Stephanie McMahon. After the Flo Rida concert, it was like right at the end of the the second hour. So the WWE really needed to fill something up here tonight, and let this concert roll for 25 minutes, and that's exactly what they did. They played like 3 songs. Pretty good concert, I would have to say, for a free concert, mini concert on live TV. Like I said, it's, that time constraints what the WWE has. So going into this match, going into the ending of it, I was like, is the WWE really going to let this go over? Are we going to see something else? Are we going to see, Brie Bella come back? Because Stephanie McMahon just randomly comes out, introduces Flo Rida, and that's the end of the segment. I was like, we're going to end up seeing, something from Brie Bella again. I was predicting this, but, I was correct again. All of a sudden, after, Stephanie McMahon was about to leave, these cops just randomly just show up, and I was like, is this seriously, like, for real? But I was like, you know what, come on, this is WWE, Justin, snap out of this. So I'm watching this, and this dude is holding this, like, one of those, business cards. When you look at this card looks like one of my baseball cards here, a nice Chase Field baseball card. and he's reading it off, and it's like reading this off from the back right here, and he's reading her Miranda rights. I'm like, how hard is it to remember your Miranda rights? I mean, do you watch like Law and Order or anything like that? I mean, come on. You know, it's the easiest thing to remember. You know, you have the right to an attorney. Just go down the easy things. Facts here, come on. So this is just this big scuffle, and the whole crowd behind her is going yes, because, you know, Brie Bella was, walking through the crowd. We all knew she's going to come back. So they start reading her Miranda rights, and Cole and JBL and Jerry Lawler are just standing there doing this. And they're just standing there. I'm like, come on, guys, you probably knew this was coming. So, you know, like I said, the crowd started getting this huge reaction as, you know, Stephanie McMahon, she's in cuffs behind her back, and the crowd was just going nuts. And I was like, you know, this is pretty entertaining. I mean, this is all right. So once this is everything, and once she's in handcuffs, Brie Bella comes down to ringside and starts talking this major shit, and is trying to talk this big game, saying, get out of here, you're going to jail, you know, you smacked my face, or, well, pretty much, you know, recapping from last night. But, you know what, we just couldn't have, you know, Stephanie McMahon get away with it. I think the WWE did a right thing, and, you know, extending this rivalry between the two divas. I still don't expect the actual match to happen at SummerSlam. You know, the WWE Universe would love to see it. I wouldn't really want to see it, because I don't think the match would be all that good, because Stephanie has, you know, the ring rust. She has not been competing since early 2000, or 2003, I think that was the last one in that match between her and Vince McMahon. So, you know, she's gonna have a lot of ring rust. Yeah, she works out a whole lot. She does like a number of fitness DVDs and, you know, everything like that. So she's in good shape. She's fit, so that's a good thing. But I don't really see, you know, her in-ring abilities being all too good. So I think she's gonna end up having like Naomi or Cameron, you know, face off against Brie, or gonna end up having like a 2-on-7 divas matchup with like Natalya and Emma turning heel and calling up Bayley turning her heel, or whatever the case may be. We all know it. So she ends up going to jail for the night, and then, you know, we get these little like one update in like the WWE. I'm sitting here on my bed, I'm watching this, I'm like, WWE's turned CNN right now. They're Renee Young, I mean, as beautiful and gorgeous as she is, she's like, well, we're standing backstage right now, and we're seeing, you know, we're hearing that Stephanie McMahon is going to jail for battery and possible resisting arrest. We'll have more information as time comes by. Make sure you guys keep on checking out here tonight on Raw. I'll just keep you guys updates. You know, Renee Young, like I said last night, she does a good job doing the kickoff shows. But, you know, this was just probably one of the most, like, why moments. You know, what's the point? Okay, she goes to jail. That should have ended the segment. Renee Young wants to continue to, you know, try to host, you know, be the next, you know, reporter for CNN, or, you know, on Fox on Fox News at 10 or whatever it's called. And she's like, well, we'll come back for more information. It's like a blog post, so, you know, it was not the greatest thing. So Triple H comes out, and then Triple H is gearing up for the big announcement, the final return of Brock Lesnar. You know, going and building up for this, you know, John Cena wasn't there. I think, honestly, the show was missing John Cena. As much as I hate to say it, I would love to have, you know, John Cena have that surprise look on his face, because we need something to really, you know, pull us in for next week's show. What do we want to see? I want to see John Cena get F5, you know, kind of like how Brock Lesnar returned after a multiple-year hiatus, you know, after his UFC career was done. He signed that, I think it was like a 2-year contract with the WWE, and, you know, going forward with it, I think, you know, I'm still not a fan of Brock Lesnar coming to the WWE right now, but, you know, I'll go into more detail hopefully tomorrow night during a quick review, or my personal feelings on Brock Lesnar in the WWE. So, you know, there's a lot of, you know, more content coming from my channel, so make sure you guys, you know, stay updated and tuned in for that. So, you know, Triple H was standing at ringside. You know, I have this guy coming out, you know, the next challenger for John Cena. You know, Randy Orton music hits. I was like, no, this is just going to be, you know, just a fall right here. You know, it's going to be Brock Lesnar. So Randy Orton jumps the Roman Reigns jumps the barricade as Randy Orton just, you know, gets right next to the ring ropes, and all of a sudden, you know, Roman Reigns clears house, chases Randy Orton through the ropes over the barricade, and then all of a sudden we have the whole crowd cheering, because you look up at the ramp, there's Paul Heyman. We all know, this is going to be Brock Lesnar. After, weeks and weeks of, speculation that he's returning to SummerSlam. We saw the poster. Amazon, thank you so much for leaking it. Now we have another, wrestling source on Amazon. We finally get it. Brock Lesnar returns, makes his entrance, and Triple H and Paul Heyman, they're standing there in the ring, shaking each other's hands, and the WWE, this segment went on a little bit longer than what was expected. I didn't expect this to be a very long segment. I thought it was just going to be like, you're going to be going there, and then all of a sudden it just cuts it. You see Triple H walking out of the ringside area, and then you see Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar in the ring, doing his little jumping thing like that, and getting ready, just pumping it up. That would have been an excellent ending to Raw. But no, the WWE wants Paul Heyman to speak for another 15 minutes about how Brock Lesnar conquered the streak. He's coming for John Cena's World Heavyweight Championship. I am Paul Heyman, ladies and gentlemen. And it's like, okay, we get the point here, Paul. We got this build up. We're over the time limit for the show. Let's just, get ready for next week, or let's just build it up for SmackDown. I know we have NXT on Thursday night. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. But that pretty much closes out the show. And I don't know why I just mentioned NXT right there, but that's another show coming up this week. But that pretty much wraps up the show. They gave a quick video package of Brock Lesnar defeating The Undertaker, and then we had a couple of minutes of nonsense from Paul Heyman saying how he's going to beat John Cena. How Brock Lesnar is going to be the next, or continuing to be the big thing in the WWE going forward, and we all know it. It's going to happen. I'm going to go more in detail about my personal thoughts about Brock Lesnar coming to the WWE. Expected video out about that hopefully tomorrow, or possibly even on Wednesday. I could be interested in doing some more WWE reviews like Superstars and what else shows are out there. Superstars is the main event. I'm thinking about just doing shows just like that. I think main event is just like a 2 or 3 match show where the matches go for like 5 or 6 minutes, and that's pretty much the end of it. I know it's like an hour show for Superstars and an hour-long show for main event. So, a pretty interesting, show tonight. If I was going to rate it, it was all right. It didn't blow you out of the water. We did get a lot what we deserve, as a fan tonight. We saw the Page turn heel. The Brock Lesnar return it was obvious it's going to happen tonight, but we all knew that we didn't know that John Cena wasn't going to be there. We all knew that we were not going to see, the big stars, Usos, the Wyatt family. We also saw, I forgot to leave out the Bray Wyatt Chris Jericho incident during the highlight reel. Bray Wyatt, attacked Chris Jericho backstage, and then all of a sudden we saw, Bray Wyatt, doing another great promo on Chris Jericho. So, that was overall pretty good. That was a good segment. I want you guys to go back and watch, the Raw highlights or Raw review on the WWE Network, because, yeah, it's not the greatest network, but, you still get a lot of good benefits to refresh your memory from what happened on last week's Raw. But, this was overall a pretty okay Raw show. It didn't blow you out of the water in any means. I did like I said, I liked the Page heel move, and then all of a sudden the Brock Lesnar return was very good. I would like to give this show out of 10 stars, 4. There was a lot of, that concert took up so much of the show, and, if the WWE wants to do that, you might as well have a concert every show, because, I was able to go get something to eat, come back, eat it, and the concert would still be going on. I'll go throw it out, and all of a sudden wrestling will be back on. It was just, a time constraint kind of a thing. The WWE, like I said, didn't have the most talent on display tonight, missing out on a whole lot. So, that's what happened tonight. We actually got to see Natalya and Emma in a good matchup, or in a decent matchup with Paige and AJ Lee. We saw an excellent matchup between Ziggler and The Miz. I think that was the matchup of the night, hands down. Dean Ambrose was in the main event tonight against Cesaro. That, there were a couple of good bumps, nothing worth mentioning a whole lot. That was just a build-up for, possible... just a little, small, main event to end up out of the show. I don't expect anything big coming from those two. So there's just a lot of okayness in the middle of the show, but it was primarily highlighted by Ziggler and The Miz. And like I said, I'm going to give this show a 4 out of 10 stars. I still wish, the WWE, the concert, creamed it a whole lot. I like what they did with, Stephanie McMahon. Let's make that, a 5. Make it a 5. Give it an okay rating. That's an okay show to go and rewatch. I mean, if you want to see, Stephanie McMahon getting arrested, and you're really into that whole segment with Brie Bella and Nikki Bella and that whole situation, go back and watch it. It was an okay show tonight. I give it, a solid 5 out of 10 stars. It's going to be, very interesting on how well the WWE will be working with Brock Lesnar going into next week, and the immediate build up to SummerSlam. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we have in store for the coming weeks. I'm hopefully going to end up coming back on tomorrow night as I do a main event. I know it's going to be Sheamus versus Rusev tomorrow night on main event. I'm still thinking about if I should do a main event review. I've never actually watched a main event show before, so I'm pretty much going to be a rookie to the main event show. But it's pretty easy. The WWE is already set up for their new city, and they usually have superstars, or they actually pre-record superstars on Monday Night Raw before Monday Night Raw, and then also you also have NXT going up this week. So I'm hopefully to come back and do that, superstars as well, along with the main event. But on NXT this week, I'm going to end up doing a review. I want to do a review for NXT, so make sure you guys go and check that out. Make sure you guys come in and stay tuned with my show. I want to do more NXT stuff. I think NXT is much better than the current product with the WWE right now. If I wanted to refer you guys to a legitimate, something associated with WWE, NXT is going to blow you out of the water. You actually see great matches down there. Sami Zayn, I wish my boy Corey Graves would come back. Hopefully he does not retire. I know it's going to be a long shot. You also get guys like Adrian Neville, Kalisto. As my voice just cracks right there. I need to get a cup of tea here in a second. But like I said, guys, make sure you guys come back for an NXT review, this upcoming Thursday. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button. I am, new to doing more full-time professional wrestling reviews. If you like my review, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, go ahead and hit that thumbs down button. It's your guys' opinion about my show. That's not going to change anything. It's just certain people that, trying to make my show look bad, but it's fine with that. I like to come on here and give my personal opinions on what I feel about this show and that superstar. Now I don't take it on a personal level with the superstars. I just take it as their character, their in-ring ability, and everything like that. So this is overall, like I said, a 5 out of 10 show. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you're new to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys like the new intro, Justin Godsey TV. Make sure you guys can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You guys are watching this video on YouTube. I just want to get my social media out there. The website's finally launched. You get a lot of great articles. MMA content's a big thing on my website as of right now. Make sure you guys go and check that out. I have a new interview coming up. I'm hopefully to get an interview at least once a week, a whole new interview once a week. I'm hopefully to shoot for 2 interviews in a week. I interview just about any superstar or any athlete, college, football, anything like that. So a lot of great content coming over on the website. Follow me on Twitter at Justin Godsey TV. If you're a fan of the show, tweet me out. If you want me to follow you, I will follow you just like that. I am always active on Twitter. Instagram's a big thing, so I just want to plug this in for you guys. I'm Justin Godsey for Justin Godsey TV. I'll catch you guys in my next video.